Hey Connolly, it's Liam, part of the sports media here at Bishop Connolly. Right now, it's my first guest, so to say. Is Coach Kurt for the soccer team. As you can see in the standings, doing nothing short of excellent. So, just a little background information on you as a coach, you as a player, you as a person.
Well, I'm a 1986 graduate of Bishop Connolly High School. Played soccer here along with assistant coach Todd, who's also a graduate. Been coaching here for 5 years now. When we first got here, things were a little tough. We started out 1-15 our first year, and now 5 years later, we're defending conference champs, and hopefully with a win on Friday, can secure another conference championship.
That's crazy. So, those two posters virtually say it all. Tell us a little bit about Bishop Connolly soccer, maybe Bishop Connolly in general, so to say.
Well, start with the school. Big fan of the school. My son was a 2016 graduate. Like I said, I graduated here. My wife graduated here. My brothers graduated here. It's always been a great family school. And my son's off in college right now, and he's doing excellent after being well prepared by Connolly to go to college. And my daughter's a sophomore, plays on the girls soccer team. She's the goalie, and she will hopefully be moving on to college one day too.
That's awesome. So, obviously a lot of seniors on the team. They had a 15-1 season. 16-2, 1-2 losses a season. So, but you have a lot of seniors, but upcoming juniors too. Tell us how you can prepare for this season, the playoffs, and next season.
Well, far too early to think about next season already. We're pretty focused on our last 2 weeks of the season. We have playoff run coming up. Just keep everybody healthy, in good spirits, in a together, team first kind of mindset. And when the playoffs roll around, hope everybody's at their peak and make a run at it.
So besides talent on the team, what are some intangibles on the soccer team that you think sets you apart from everyone else?
Well, I think this team tends to, they've been together for a long time, so they really tend to hang out, team breakfasts, they go out and do things together after practice, after games. I think that kind of camaraderie makes you want to play harder for your good pal that you've been with for the last few years together. And like I said, there's 9 seniors on varsity this year, so it's a good group that's been together for 4 years and had success together, and I don't think they want it to end any more than I want it to end.
Looking at it, I know it's more day-to-day right now, but looking at the future, upcoming freshmen and sophomores on the JV team, tell us about what you think plans for the future are, because as you said, some seniors on the team were not very good when they came in, and now they're starting on varsity. Tell us about how you think you can get some players in JV to be on the level some people are now at varsity.
Well, I think a lot of these guys coming in, the young kids have realized you really got to work hard. You got to get in shape. You got to be able to run. I'm a big fan of if you're not going to be the most talented team, then you best be in the best shape to outrun the other team. So kids will grow. Kids will play continuously through the winter, through the spring, and certain kids you'll see. I see there's some kids on JV, like say yourself. You're a young guy. In a couple of years, when you're older, more mature, and you've grown and put on weight, I easily see guys like you fitting in on varsity. There's quite a few. If the freshmen have some talented players, it's just a matter of they got to get bigger. It's tough to play against 18-year-old men, And I'm sure you've seen that in practice with some of the guys we have. So I think that's the biggest thing is the kids need to mature, get comfortable in school, grow, and they'll work on it in the off season. Just work on stamina and ball control.
To people coming into Connolly this year, hopefully new classes of 2022, 2023, what makes you really want them to join soccer? What makes it different from all the other sports here at Connolly or other soccer teams at other schools?
Well, I think there's sort of a family aspect to our soccer program. Because Coach Todd and I both came here, we're both Connolly soccer players, just like all you guys and all your teammates. And I think that we've tried to keep that going, that it is a family. Anybody that's graduated is welcome back. Our assistant coach, Drew, graduated years ago. He loves to be around the program because it's all about the players. Coach Todd and I are never going to score another goal. We're never going to stop another shot. It's all about developing young men to have a great soccer experience in high school. Because for most people, high school is where your sports tend to end. But while you're here, we want you to have the best experience possible.
So your record right now stands at, I believe, 12-4-2.
11-3-2.
11-3-2. So got off to a shaky-ish start the beginning of the season, but now you've gotten the ball really rolling and you're really looking forward to the playoffs. As you said, next game, if you win, you clinch. So how are you going the day-to-day aspects with your players? What are you telling them inside the locker room? How do you want them to play?
Well, we want them to just be mature. Keep your heads about you. There's only a couple of weeks left. The seniors, you only have a few more games left in your high school career. Enjoy this journey that we're on. Because before you know it, it ends, and it ends really quick. Enjoy the process that we're going through right now, because these are the best days athletically of all these guys' lives. So you really need to take it in a little bit and enjoy it, and not get so worked up. We're a good team. If we play well in the playoffs, we're going to be a hard team to beat. And if somebody beats us, then they're probably going to be a good team that played well.
Speaking of playoff, the not do well, last year you won the Mayflower Cup. And then first round of the preliminary round, you got knocked out. How do you want to approach your players this year? If you clinch the playoffs, how do you want to say to them, look, last year was last year. What do you want to say to them this year to keep the momentum going?
I think a lot of guys that coming back from last year learned that you've got to take the opportunity that you're given. You're not given a lot of these opportunities, and last year we kind of let it slip away a little bit. The team we lost to was a really good team. We lost 1-0, very close game, but that's the playoffs. So you better be prepared and be on your toes to play your best, play your hardest, keep your composure, and play as a team. Because it's soccer, it is a team game. So that's the best thing they can do. But I think they learned that last year, having so many guys coming back. They've got that disappointment and that memory.
So ending on a high note here, how do you feel about the players right now on the team? And it's such a talented team. Who are some of the key players on the team? Was it more of a, family camaraderie? Everyone on the team is good.
We have a lot of really good guys who have been here for years. Our captains are a great group. Nick Sass has been here 5 years. Ruben, John, they've been together playing as freshmen. They started on varsity. 4 years of playing every day with them has been just great experience, fun for me. Great to see all these guys growing up as young men. Our goaltending is super solid with Jacob and Alex. Even our freshman goalie Liam Marshall, very good goalie. So we're great in the goalie position now and the future. And so it's who can you not name? Nate Chim, Nico. I mean, everybody's really a great kid to deal with. They're all 15, 16, 17, so there's the whole knucklehead nature to teenage boys. But you know that going in, and it's really been a great experience being back at my school, coaching soccer here again. It's really been wonderful.
So one last final thought. What do you say to upcoming kids coming in? How does soccer is going to change their lives? How does soccer going to make it the best 4 years here at Connolly? What do you want to say to them?
Well, when you come here, if soccer's in the fall, as an incoming freshman, you can answer this. You show up at school and now you have 20, 25 friends and familiar faces that you know before you even walk in the first day of school. And we've always said you have a problem with somebody on the team, you have a problem with anything, you go to somebody on the team, they'll help you out. So you know right off the bat there's 25 friends. And that's for 4 years you're going to know these guys, and for 4 years they're going to have your back and have each other's back and keep an eye out on each other. It's a small school, close-knit family. Everybody kind of looks out for everybody, which I think is great.
Thank you for taking the time here, Coach. Good luck on your next
buddy.
games.
Thank you.
Yep. Have a great day. I was Coach Kurt for the varsity soccer team. Hopefully everyone here can join, and I'll be talking to some more coaches next up. Thank you.
Actually, no, let me get another key.
So going back to the soccer team, the latest Under the Lights game at Durfee was a 3-1 victory. I had the honor of broadcasting that game, and hopefully everyone here is willing to join the sports media team, because it's really it's great. If you're interested in sports, any type of sports, I really encourage you to join. It's a great experience. Mr. Raffini is a great guy, great mentor. And you have a lot of fun doing it. It's like if anyone's watched ESPN, you can get a lot of personality, you can get good college experience, you can get anything here, and it looks really good on the resume too. So talking about the boys soccer team, the coach that I just answered, the current record right now is 11-3-2. Last game was at Bishop Stang, tied 1-1. Game after that was Holbrook, a 2-0 game. And the great thing about soccer team is when they're facing opponents that they figure like they can easily beat, they take guys from JV, they take guys from there, and they train them to be the best that they can, because as you saw what Coach Kurt was saying, that he just wants everyone to become the best. It's a really family team, and it's about developing into varsity and developing into the best player you can be. It's very individualized soccer team. Girls soccer, by the way, started off good and then just kind of went downhill after they lost one of their best players, and then the team kind of fell down. Current record is 1-9-1. Last game was a loss at Holbrook, 3-0. Currently not doing best. They're not on a very hot streak right now, but I really encourage everyone who's interested in soccer, girls soccer, to join the entire soccer program here. We have, I think, 50 some odd people out of a 300 kid school. Do the math, that's 25% people here, and everyone loves it. Everyone wants to be here, and it's an awesome team too. So I really encourage everyone to join. Next on the list was football, and there's not much to say about football except it's been disappointing. If you walk into the gym, right-hand corner you see MAC Football Championships 2015, and you don't think it's the same team as 2 out of the 6 games they have to forfeit, and they haven't scored a single point yet, getting blown up by 35, 40 points a game, and it's not looking good. Not looking good at all. They have a lot of upperclassmen on the team too, so I'll be interviewing him in a few, but right now I'm going to be interviewing the volleyball coach. They've been playing a lot of games and it's been nothing short of excellent here, so I'll be interviewing her right now.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Very good. I'm Sarah, nice to meet you.
So right now I have the volleyball coach here. Current record is 13-4, that's really good. So before I get into anything else, can I just ask you a little bit about yourself, background information as a coach?
Yeah, of course. What's up? I've been coaching. I'm 28. I've been coaching since I was 18, so I've been coaching for 10 years. I coach USA volleyball as well as here. I coach a lot of travel teams and upper level competitive volleyball. That's pretty much it.
So upper level is definitely an understatement for the team right now. 13-4. You've been doing very, very well. What are some key attributes on the team? Maybe JV and varsity.
I would say it's all about practicing game-like and having mental toughness right now. I know that the girls have been playing together for a long time, so they have a nice rapport with each other. So I would say that's it, a lot of teamwork and communication. That's what's helping them become successful.
Besides talent, what do you think some of the intangibles on the team, some things that separate you from other people?
For our team?
Yeah.
I think in our league we have a very, very great offense and defense. I feel like those are our two. Actually, our strongest aspect of our team is our defense. So I feel like that's what separates us from other teams. So yeah, some of the talent on the team is on par with others, but as I mentioned before, that the intangibles on the team, especially in such a small school, how do you build camaraderie? How do you build family on the team as opposed to, kids with 1,000 school kids? This only has 300 kids in it. How do you build a team like this with so many people, with so little people? Honestly, you have to start young, and you have to compete, and you have to play all year round. You have to play travel to be good at volleyball. So I know I'm going to say about half of our girls play at various leagues outside. So that really helps them get better during the off season, as well as just training them and teaching them like motor skill patterns rather than old school doing approaches and basic steps. Like you have to, nowadays for volleyball, you really have to train them in motor pattern planning. So like skill based, like it's all going like ball like, game like drills.
So what do you say to incoming freshmen and LEAP students that are a little hesitant on joining the volleyball team but really want to join? What would you want to say to them? What makes you different from all the sports teams here at Connolly?
I feel like if they're definitely interested in playing volleyball next year, start now. You know, like play, reach out to someone, play during the summer, play beach volleyball, like just get your hands on a ball and start playing. That's the best way to get better and prepared for the season ahead.
So I'm getting an aspect of practice here. How much do you value practice? How much do you not like slacking off here?
I love practice. The only way that you'll get better is by practicing. So that's pretty much 100%. I love practice.
So what do
I don't know if the kids do, but I do.
What are your key attributes on the team? What do you emphasize the most, and what are you really excelling at here at 13 and 4?
Okay, my big thing is getting serves in and not making silly errors. So that's my emphasis, you know, playing smart, mindful volleyball. And then what was the second part of the question?
What do you emphasize the most with your team? What are some things that are so good that other teams just don't have? What are some of the best things on your team?
It's the same thing, just like emphasis and like just playing smart, mindful volleyball, you know, like getting your passes straight to target, getting your serves in, swinging hard at teams, you know, not going too easy, but also making a safe play if the set's not there.
So I feel like you have a lot of seniors, a lot of juniors on the team, on the varsity team.
You have a lot of freshmen too.
A lot of freshmen, yeah. So speaking of freshmen, how do you want to develop them into stars on the varsity team, and how do you want to maintain the record here into future?
Okay, when kids come in as a freshman, I automatically develop a plan for them. I might not tell them my plan, but I do have one. So for instance, there's a few girls now that I'm already looking at to fill places for next year. But the whole piece of that is putting in the time in the off season and developing to be prepared for the varsity season.
So
that's pretty much it.
What upperclassmen on the team that are you really going to miss, but how are you going to fill in those spots? How are you going to miss some of the best players on the team and fill them up with upcomers?
Right now, next year, my biggest spot to fill is my setter, who's Nicole Squazzaro. So that's going to be my biggest part. I feel like a lot of the other positions I have covered coming up for next year, but I have a plan, so I'm not worried about it. Always have a plan.
One final thought. What do you want to say to everyone coming in here as a freshman? What do you want to say about volleyball? What do you want to make things that are special about Connolly volleyball as opposed to other volleyball teams? What makes you different? What makes kids want to play?
If you're looking for a sport that's totally 100% teammate oriented and teaching cooperative skills, that's volleyball. It's going to teach you great life skills for when you get older, how to deal with pressure, adversity, everything like that. Also, it's a great family-oriented place. It's a great team. All the girls love each other. They all get along. Like, this is one of the most positive teams I've ever coached. So, you know, like, it's just a family unit, and I feel like all the girls, it's a great place, a great thing to be a part of.
So you're probably going to go in the playoffs soon, and I wish you the best of luck going into the future, maybe this season and the seasons beyond. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
So that was the coach of the volleyball team. Next game is at Bridgewater, Stang, Coyle and Cassidy, Somerset, and Southeastern, and then they'll be ready for the playoffs. And I'm going to pass it off to Mr. Feeney.
Well, I wasn't thinking so much, Liam, of passing it off. What I was going to talk about was sports media. You know, in addition to what we have here for sports at Bishop. And by the way, I should have said that I'm John Feeney. I'm the athletic director here at Bishop Connolly. In addition to the sports here at school, we have a sports media component that I'm hoping more and more kids become interested in, because there's literally no end to what the students can do media-wise. Liam is very quickly ascending to being the voice of the Bishop Connolly Cougars sports program. We're hoping that this basketball season that we're hoping, the plan is for Friday night basketball, whether it's a boys game or a girls game. That's the plan. And literally, you can have students writing articles, taking pictures, taking video, incorporating highlights into articles. We can do sports talk shows. We can do virtually anything. There's literally podcasts. There's really no end to it. And we have 3 kids right now who are contributing in whatever way they can at the moment. But we're hoping that this is going to grow, because I think it's something that would be invaluable to students. At my previous place of employment, I started the sports media apparatus there, and several of those kids are already on their way to making it in the industry, so much so that one of them I actually saw interview in the Patriots locker room interviewing some of the players. And what happens is, if the kids participate in this program over the course of 4 years, they end up with a video portfolio that would far exceed any other students with whom they'd be competing in college. They'd have a video portfolio a mile long, much larger and much more extensive than other students their own age. So Liam, what have you covered so far with the first two, with Coach Hibbert and Coach Pereira?
So I was talking about the intangibles, what makes Connolly different from all these other huge schools, all these other schools that people are indecisive about. So I wanted to say to them that Connolly is much more of a family school than it is like a competitive. We're very competitive, but we also maintain a lot of family aspects. So, and it's such a small school, we're really looking forward to people who are coming in. And if you join any sports team, especially fall sports, if you join a fall sport and you practice in the summer, first day you already have a bunch of kids, as Coach Kurt said, you already have a bunch of faces to look forward to. So I'm really proud of that aspect of Connolly, that having that family spirit. Both coaches have said that, but they really want to make you practice. They're really going to make you work hard, and they're not doing that to be a pain in the butt. They're doing that because they only want the best out of you, and they want all the teachers here, all the coaches here, everyone here wants the best out of Connolly to make, really Connolly pride, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So have you, obviously you've only talked so far to the soccer coach and the volleyball coach, but have you talked at all about what has been going on with fall sports?
The teams are doing obviously very well, very, very well. Most of the fall sports teams are doing well. I was talking about them, and I said it's supposed to be a great family aspect of the teams, and they're really looking forward to the playoffs. They don't take everything in the big picture as of right now. They're looking at one game at a time, looking forward to the playoffs, and looking at what they can improve better, what they can get, the most out of their time here, especially the seniors on the teams, that they want to just, end on a high note.
Right. Yeah, I agree with all of that. I think in terms of what's been happening on the field this year, the volleyball team and the boys soccer team have been leading the way. They're both going to be contenders for Division IV state titles. There's no question about that. I anticipate that both of those squads are going to go deep into the state playoffs. If you go on, our sports media here has a website. It's ConnollyCougarsports.com, and if you go on that site, and I'm just trying to scroll here, if you just bear with me for one moment. If you go on that site, under fall schedules and results, you'll see all of the records of all of the game, all of the scores, and all the records for everything that has taken place so far. the one of the stories of this fall season, and something that Liam will be getting into in a little while with Coach Furtado, the football coach here, Coach Jay Furtado, is that we've had a difficult year with football. I'll let Coach Furtado talk about that, but the basic issue is that we just haven't had we had a low number turnout, and once a low number turnout is affected by either an unexpected absence from school, illness, or injury, then you come precipitously close to not being able to either put enough kids on the field, or you end up with so few kids that you end up putting students in positions that they're not accustomed to play, undersized, and it just becomes a dangerous situation. So we're certainly at the point where we are going to have to rebuild the football program, but we certainly have a plan going forward. And again, as I said, Coach Furtado will talk all about that. So right now, I am going to go grab the basketball coach, and Liam will have a sit down with Coach Bill Shea.
Thank you, Mr. Feeney. So the basketball coach right now, there's no record for it. Of course, it is a winter sport, but I'm really excited to see what he has to say about the team, what, incoming freshmen and already experienced seniors and upperclassmen have thought about it. So I've been talking with some of the kids in my class, as freshman class, and they're really excited to look forward to this season. They're really looking forward to it. So if you're watching this, I would totally recommend joining basketball when it comes. You just have to, hope to see what it comes to, hope to see what it really was, So I'm going to be interviewing in just a second or two. Going back to the football thing, it's looking at the football championship, right-hand corner of the gym, and that was just 2 years ago. And now it's been exponentially down. And it really is unfortunate to see such a great football program go right down the drain like that. So if you're watching this, I would strongly recommend that you join the football team and try to make the most out of it. We're really trying to look forward to rebuild this program, so to say. And we have a new sport this year for the winter. It's a swim team. Looking forward to the swim team too. A lot of people interested in it. A lot of people looking forward to it. But right now I'll be discussing that a little later. I have coach of the basketball team coming up right now.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Okay. How are you?
Good, how are you? So before I get into anything else, I'd like to ask you your background information as a coach, background information as a player, maybe background information as a student, and why you came here to coach at Connolly.
Well, I attended Connolly from 1975 to 1979. Played basketball, 3 years varsity. Went to college, and then when I got out of college, I came back and was a freshman coach for 3 years, and then a JV coach for 3 years. And then I was a varsity coach starting in 1990 until 2012, and then I took a couple years off, and then I came back in 2014.
So you've been obviously coaching here for a very long time. What makes you keep on coming back here? What makes you so excited to see each and every season the kids on this field?
Well, I mean, like I said, I have a lot invested here. I came here, I really enjoyed my experience here, and when I got the opportunity to coach here, I just really enjoyed the interaction with the kids and competition and the challenge of putting together a program. I really wanted to build a program instead of just coaching a team, and I think we've done that. We're pretty much a tournament team every year, so I'm just proud of what we put together here, and Connolly's always had a pretty good basketball tradition, and I just wanted to build on that.
So going into the season right now, only a few weeks away, correct? Yeah. So what are your preparations going into it? How are you going to assemble your team? What are you going to tell your team to even incoming freshmen or advanced and veteran seniors and juniors?
Well, I mean, the returning players, they're all either, if they're not playing a fall sport, then they're doing CrossFit, they're playing AAU, they're working out on their own. So they're doing their own preparations for the season. The coaches can't get involved in that in the off season, so they already know what to do. And the freshmen, they'll find out. This is a year where they'll learn what's expected to be in the basketball program and the work that's involved if you want to end up being a varsity basketball player and contributing to the program. So it's a learning process for the freshmen. They really don't have much of an idea what they're going to be getting into. But the ones who understand the work that's involved, they'll go 4 years through the program. Like I said, the guys who are juniors and seniors right now, they already understand what the expectations are.
So going off the field, besides making shots, what are some of the intangibles on the team that set you apart from other schools?
Well, it's just we're the same as any other school. As far as how to win basketball games, we're not any different than anybody else. You got to be in good physical condition. You got to have players. You got to have skilled players. As far as the game goes, you just got to rebound well, take care of the ball, and of course, make shots. But we play a competitive non-league schedule. We played Durfee, we played Dartmouth a couple times, Stang a couple times, Dayton Rehoboth. So we play up divisions non-league. We really like to toughen up our schedule to kind of toughen us up for hopefully when we make the state tournament we'll be a little bit battle tested. But it's just about coming every day and preparing every day from day one and trying to get a little bit better every day. And then if you do that, then and you get some talented players, which I think we do, you might end up with a successful season.
So I've been interviewing a few coaches before you, and they've all had one reoccurring theme, and they've been talking about the family aspect of Connolly sports in general. Yeah. So how do you feel like the basketball team has such a family and camaraderie aspect about it?
Well, the kids do a pretty good job of getting along with each other, having a good team atmosphere in the locker room. It's not always perfect. But I think the leadership comes from the top, from the juniors and the seniors, and they try to help the young guys along. And I think that does separate us a little bit. We have less, I think, locker room issues, and from talking to other coaches, they seem to have a little bit more of that than we do. Again, not to say that it's perfect, but for the most part, the kids get along. They come here to work every day, and everyone's got the same goal in mind. And that's to be the best team that we can be.
So besides winning games, what are some things you want to work on in practice, you want to hone in on, or do you want to work on almost everything? What do you want to improve on from last season, or what do you want to make even better this season?
Well, every year is different. Every year the goal is the same. It's just to be the best team that we can be. And that's, whether that's winning 15 games, winning 10 games, winning 5 games. It depends on your talent level, So, this year I think we have some talented kids. And, I expect to have a winning season. And, every year our goal is to make the state tournament and to go as far as we can in the state tournament. And we've done that probably I would say 15 out of the last 17 years off the top of my head, and probably 23, 24 out of the 28, 29 years I've been here. So but again, it's just trying to maximize your talent and try to be the best team that you can be, whatever that might be.
So describe how much you want to put on the upperclassmen, juniors and seniors, and how they want to, lead the team to victory, and how they want to build, the lower classmen, such as the sophomores and the freshmen, into preparing not only good for this season but good for future seasons? What do you want to expect out of them?
Well, I mean, it's up to the juniors and seniors to lead by example, and that means come every day, ready to work, show the younger guys what working hard means, what practicing hard means, what playing hard means, and what the secrets are to win basketball games. I mean, it's my job to develop the players. But it always makes it easier for me when the juniors and seniors are leading the way, showing them the right way to do things. So, I expect them to lead by example, and if they set a good example, then it makes things easier for me every year.
So, did you have a lot of juniors and did you have a lot of seniors last year that left?
Yeah, well, we lost 2 starters, actually 3 starters. Alex McRae was our center. He averaged about 18 points a game. We lost him. We lost Alec Kafori. He was a forward for us, and he did a lot of nice things for us. And we lost Chris Bacon, one of our guards. But I think we have guys who can step in and hopefully fill those voids. I think we're going to play a little bit different style this year. We'll be a little more up and down the court, a little quicker paced, a little more aggressive defensively. So I think we're going to be a different type of team this year, but certainly not going to be easy to replace those guys.
So you mentioned up and down the field, aggressive defense. How are you going to achieve those goals in practice? What are you really looking to drone in on? What are you looking to work with your players on?
Well, there's all kinds of drills you do to, get them faster paced. We have fast break drills, we have defensive drills, we have pressing drills. It's a different mentality. Last year we played a lot of zone, which meant the defense attacked us. The offense attacked us. Coming year, we plan on playing a lot of pressing defense, which means we're going to be attacking the offense. So I think this year we're more suited to that. We got a little more quickness, and I think that's going to be a style of play that should serve as well.
My last question here for today. What do you want to say to incoming freshmen in LEAP about what makes Connolly basketball the best basketball team they're going to join?
Well, again, I don't like to compare us to, saying that we're the best, but I think most kids who are into basketball, who are committed to basketball, will find that it's a pretty good basketball experience. I think they're going to find that if they work hard and they have ability, that there's going to be an opportunity, which is really all they can ask for. So an opportunity to play, an opportunity to win, an opportunity to go to state tournament. Because like I said, for the 15 out of the last 17 years, we've been in the state tournament. So it's an opportunity to be part of a pretty good tradition. And the payoff is, you play big games in front of big crowds, and anybody that plays basketball or any sport at a higher level, I think that's what you should be looking for, to play a big game in front of big crowds.
So looking very optimistic this year. I hope you all the best for Connolly and the Connolly basketball team. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
That was the coach of the basketball team, looking very good, looking to change a lot of aspects of the game, as you can see. Freshmen are very eager to join. He's looking to rebuild the team, not rebuild, so to say, but really change the format, change what they want to drone in on. So thank you for your time, Coach. I should be interviewing more coaches coming up soon, not only fall sports, but winter and summer, not summer sports, but, later in the season sports. So right now I have the football coach here.
How are you, Liam?
Good, how are you? What's your name?
Coach Furtado.
So give us a little background information on you as a coach and as a player here. What made you want to join Connolly?
As a player, I'm a graduate of Joseph Case High School in Swansea. Went on to football scholarship at the University of New Haven in Connecticut. Wound up transferring to UMass Dartmouth to finish out my career. As far as coaching, started coaching in 1996, high school. Done some coaching in college on the collegiate level as well. Came back to high school and came back to Conley because I was very excited to have an opportunity to coach at Conley, where in my opinion, the opportunities are endless. From the co-op program that we have to the type of student athlete that we're able to come in contact with here at Bishop Conley.
So let's get back into the season aspect. Looking at that banner up here and looking at your record over here, what changed in these 2 years? What happened?
Well, we've had some numbers issues. We're in the middle of trying to rectify that. For whatever reason, we've had low participation from our co-op school. This year specifically, the numbers are drastically down. We're trying to figure out why that happened to correct what we need to correct. As far as the 2015 banner, in my opinion, it won't be too much longer before we're able to hang another one, because of the staff that we've brought in, the commitment from admissions and from administration, and I'm very excited about that.
So obviously you're looking for way more numbers. So the people that are coming into Connolly this year and years in the future, what makes you want to say to them, look, this is the football team here at Connolly. We're going to try to make it the best experience of your 4 years here. What do you want to lure them into this? What do you want to make sure that you want to do differently this season? What are you trying to look forward to, bring numbers back, bring Connolly to his banner-worthy greatness again?
Sure. So our goal as a staff right now is to try to make the kids that are a part of the program right now the best football players we can. We're working just as hard as we've always worked. We're going to continue to work as hard as we've ever worked to try to take the kids that we have now in the program and get them to where they need to be, so that when we do increase our participation and we do go get some kids to help us, the kids that we already have here are prepared and ready to get the help from the others coming in and establish a program that we're looking to establish long term. It's going to happen. I know it's going to happen because of the staff that I've brought here and because of the commitment from administration. It's just going to take some time. It's going to take some time figuring out what did happen with the co-op program, and whether we want to continue that or go in a different direction, or find another means to get the participation back. Because once we get the participation back, in my opinion, the rest will be gravy. We just got to get kids in helmets.
So you look at film every game, after every game, correct?
Correct, yes.
So looking at all the film of the games, obviously been very frustrating. There's not much to look at the scoreboard, but what do you feel like are some aspects that you drastically need to change as opposed to other aspects that are easily fixable? What things do you want to really, really, really practice with your team and upcoming players?
Well, we're doing it right now. We're working on our fundamentals every single day, which is the foundation of anything you're going to do, whether it's athletically, dealing with athletics or not. Again, to reiterate what I said earlier, it's about numbers right now. I believe that once we do get the numbers to where they need to be, great things are going to happen again for Conley football, and it doesn't need to be 5 years down the road. This is something that we're invested in and we're looking to change ASAP. We're on it right now, and we'll be doing that in the next year.
How much do you value your staff members into developing kids here at Connolly to win football games?
Sure, it's a great question. In my opinion, besides putting a great helmet and great equipment on kids, the most important thing that a school can invest in is the coaching staff. We've done that. The coaches that I've brought with me have done a great job in very tough circumstances, as you can imagine this year. They've stayed the course. They've stayed positive. If you talk to any one of our kids that are presently on the football team now, we don't feel sorry for ourselves. It is what it is. We're going to deal with it. We're going to get through it, and we're going to be better in the end because of it.
So what do you want to say to the seniors? Because you have some seniors on your team that have been, I don't want to say carrying, I don't think that's the right adjective, but they've been really contributing to the team for the most part. So what are some of the seniors on the team, and what do you want to say to them after this season ends?
I want to say thank you. You know, my seniors are the reason that you know, we're able to continue what we're doing here and work every single day to try to make things better. If it wasn't for our seniors, Ian Birch predominantly, you know, who knows where we'd be right now. But we have good cohesionness between the staff and the players, our seniors in particular. We've dealt with some really tough circumstances as far as injuries, low numbers, all those things. But it's been our seniors, you know, like I said, Ian Birch specifically, that has, you know, been our leader and, you know, allowed us to continue on with what we have going on presently.
So, talking about the leadership aspects, what are some intangibles about the team that differ from other teams that just are focused on, of course you're focused on winning and winning football games, but how much do you want to say to your players, like, if we don't win, at least we were this, or at least we were that, at least we were respectful?
Sure. I mean, I think it's you know, everybody sees it, everybody knows our situation. Every single game that we've gone into this year and every game we'll go into going forward this season, we're not supposed to win because of what's on paper. But we don't listen to that. Anybody who's come and watched our games, as unimpressive as we've looked, you know, if you really took some time and studied what's going on with the program, you know, things that you'd come out saying is these kids are tough, these kids are resilient, you know, and that's what we're dealing with. And this is the reason why I came to Conley, is because I knew that that's what was inside this building as far as the type of kids they were. And I'm happy to say that I found out that it's right. I'm where I need to be. I'm where I want to be. It's just a matter of time now, in my opinion, before you know, great things happen for Conley baseball as well as football.
So obviously you're not really looking toward the playoffs as much. You're just looking at, you know, building the team to what it is. What do you say to your players in the locker room after a tough defeat or after a bad practice?
Well, you know, I'm not. I don't accept things the way they are. So, you know, I don't tell them, you know, that it's okay with maybe missing an assignment because we have low numbers, or maybe, you know, I don't tell them that it's okay that we didn't, you know, make a tackle because we have low numbers. So after games, if you were in our locker room, you'd see a coach who's probably a little frustrated, a little bit upset because as low as our numbers are right now, and as bad as we've performed, I truly believe that we can perform better, and that's my job as a coach. No matter what your numbers are, I have to get the number of kids that I do have to perform at the best ability that they can, and that's my job this year, and that's how I'm going forward. You know, we've still got a half a season left here to try to make something of you know, this season.
So looking at the scoreboard, you've had not a lot of points on offense, but you've been letting up a lot of points on defense. What do you want to talk to your team about? What makes, because you offensive players have been also playing defense because of the low numbers. When you retain the numbers and once you start feeling like you're a winning team, a playoff-ready team, what do you want to focus on the team? What do you want to focus on offense, or what do you want to focus on defense? What makes the team better? Because looking in higher levels right now, defense has been winning championships for team. Do you feel like that's the same way, or what do you want to feel differently about a winning football team?
Absolutely. I think, you know, you've got to focus on all three phases of the game, special teams, defense, as well as offense. You know, as far as, you know, does defense win? Does offense win? I believe that every game's different. We're going to play teams that have a great defense, that we need to stop their offense so that we can stay in games, and vice versa. We're going to have teams that, you know, have the opposite. So there's not one phase of the game that I would say that you emphasize more than the other. You emphasize all three phases equally. But we do have to get, to your point, we do have to get to a point in our program where our kids aren't being asked to play offense, defense, special teams, never coming off the field when we're playing teams that have the numbers to play kids one way or not play them on special teams. It's tough. It's tough to ask a high school team has your kids to go both ways, play every play against teams that can send one unit on and bring another one on, just from a tired aspect.
So I've been saying to all the coaches as my final question, what do you want to say to the incoming freshmen and LEAP students that makes Connolly football one of the best experiences of their high school career? What do you want to say to them that makes them, what do you want to persuade them to do? Or what do you want to say to aspiring football players that is going to make this team great?
What I would say to them is it's going to happen, believe it's going to happen, and get on board. That's basically what I tell everybody. It's going to happen. I believe it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. It's an opportunity for an incoming freshman to have a fantastic experience, and I hope that they get on the bus and take the ride, because once we get this thing rolling in the right direction, things are going to, and people are going to be talking a lot about Conley athletics and Conley football specifically.
Well, I hope you all the best for the team right now and in the future. Thank you so much for your
Thanks,
time,
Lynn.
Coach.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You too. That was the Connolly football coach here for the Connolly football team. Obviously not a great team, but as he said before, there's not all hope is lost. He's really looking forward to coaches doing well. The staff coaching the players, and even maybe the players coaching the staff, what they need to work better, because every relationship on a football team especially is mutual. So I feel like the coach is definitely qualified, the staff is definitely qualified, but a recurring theme there was just the numbers. So I really encourage incoming students here to join the football team, because it really is a great experience. I was going back to the golf, I believe, and they've been not looking good, but one thing I've been saying a lot is the numbers. So they've been losing, 1-8, 1-9, 0-9, and it's been virtually blowups, but it's because the numbers just aren't there. And since Connolly is such a small school, and some people join sports teams more and some people join sports teams less, then it's definitely a not even graph, so to say. So we're really looking for balance here. We're really looking for people to join every single team, and we're really looking forward to numbers. So right now I have the girls soccer coach, correct?
Absolutely.
So what's your name?
Dave Silvera.
I have Mr. Dave Savelli here as the girls' soccer coach. So before I ask any questions, what are your qualifications as a coach, as a player, and as a student anywhere?
My qualifications as a coach, I have several qualifications. National Federation of High School Coaches. I have National Soccer Coaches license. I have a goalkeeper's license, level 1 goalkeeper's license. I've been coaching probably for about 15 years or so now, so it's been a while.
So I've been looking at the record right now. Started off decent, and then it's just been going a little bit downhill. Mr. Feeney said to me that one of the key players left, Marinella. So how are you trying to look forward to the future here for the program? You kind of got with an unexpected surprise with that transfer of a really essential player. How do you feel you want to turn around this season? How do you feel you want to turn around future seasons?
Well, we have a large group of juniors, so we only have one senior. That's graduating, obviously, and so we have the bulk of the team is coming back next year. So basically, we're working to build for next year.
So what are some of the intangibles besides talent? What are some things you really value in your players? What do you want to work on? Not passing the ball or shooting the ball, but what do you want to say inside the locker room that makes Connolly soccer, girls soccer, different from anything else?
I think soccer is like a chess match, and it's a thinking person's game. So I want them to think and be creative, and not necessarily be the most aggressive or the fastest, but the thought process and how they think and how they react to the game. To me, I think that's the biggest trait that I would look for in a player.
That's a great analogy, bro. I've never even heard that one. I've been playing soccer for a long time and never really heard that. So
it's a game of choices and decisions, and your decision making is the key.
So how much do you value the staff, the people, the coaches that are training the players? But how much do you want to value the players, trainer, the coaches? Because I really feel like it's a mutual experience on teams.
Oh, we absolutely. I learn from the kids every day, especially those young ladies over there. Hey, ladies. I have a really good rapport with the girls, and we talk about a lot of things, lineups and positions and formations. We'll talk and bounce things off of one another. So I'm really open. I like for them to take ownership of the game and the team itself. So I think I learned a lot from the ladies.
So I'm looking at right here. You've been scoring goals for the most part, but you've also been conceding a lot of goals. So what are some attributes that you want to work on for this season and seasons coming up in the future that you want to work on, and stuff that you want to make better, stuff that you want to turn around from this season?
Injuries. What happens, most of these, the results are, it's the results of injury. First, we lost Marianella right at the beginning of the season, and then we've had like 3 concussions and various other things. So I feel if we had a healthy core group and we had continuity, we'd be good, but it's just a lack of continuity.
So health is an aspect that's very important, but it's sort of hard to teach. So you can't really say to a player, don't get injured, you know what I'm saying? So what's the offensive and defensive side? What do you want to work on the most?
For me, again, it's the decision making. It's not how fast you run. It's like if we made better decisions, we don't have to work as hard. And so when we're playing most teams, we're giving up size and speed. We're playing teams that are bigger, stronger, faster, and so I think the decision making needs to be better. And if we had that better decision making, we'd be able to slow the game down and bring it to our pace and do what we'd like to do.
So you've been talking about strength, speed, and size. So you want to work on passing the most and working the ball like maybe 1-2s, trying to get the ball down the field, crossing it in, yeah. So how are you gonna? So is that the main aspect of practices, or how much are you working on other stuff as well?
We work a little bit about everything. We'll work on touches because we have a great gap in between. Skill levels. There's like so many skill levels, like from here to here. So like working on first touches. Our first touch needs to be better. So it's basically I try to take something that happened during the game that week and work on it in practice. For instance, I watched the boys' games the other day, and I was incredibly impressed how confident the team was and the goalkeeper was in receiving a pass back from the players. And it's something that was an aspect that we weren't utilizing as a team. So yesterday's practice was working the transition back to the goalkeeper, and then distributing and building out of the back. So
what are the qualities that, not a great record, but what are the things about the best about this team? What are the things that make it, a team that you're really looking forward to play?
It's just all the different characters that we have, all the different personalities, and it's not cookie cutter. There's so many different personalities, and I just enjoy each and every one of them. Coaching these girls, they're all great young ladies. They try their hardest. They give everything that they have, and it's kind of why I come here every day.
So one last thing that I want to say that I've been talking about all the coaches. What do you want to say to incoming students that are maybe reluctant about joining the girls team, or really, really, really happy and excited to join the girls team? What do you want to say to them that makes them eager to join? What do you want to say to them that makes Connolly different from everyone else and makes Connolly a really, good program, or something you can look forward to?
I love Connolly because of the diversity of, like I said, the different levels. It's kids coming together, and every season's different. It's not just like athletics per se, where it's like people are just coming here to do a sport. It's a community. They come to play. They come to to study. They come for acting. I have several of my girls I have 2 of my players that were up for the lead role, and one of them got the lead role in the upcoming play. So it's great to see that the girls are diverse. They're just not here to play soccer. They're here for the whole experience, and the high school should be a complete experience, just not one aspect of it.
Well, it's been very astute questions and very even better answers. So thank you so much for your time,
Thank you,
Coach.
sir.
That was the girls' soccer coach there for Bishop Connolly. Not a great record, but again, he's been great staff, great coach, great mentor to the girls, and I'm really looking forward to it. So right now I have another coach coming up. Good, how are you?
What's your name? Liam?
Yep.
I'm Coach Lowell. How you doing?
Excuse my question, what sport do you coach?
I coach the golf team.
The golf team. So, you just got back from a meet, correct?
We did, yes.
So, what are some of your past aspects that make you a good coach before I ask anything else?
Well, I've been around the game of golf my whole life. I'm actually a golf professional, so I do it for a living, and I teach the game for a living. I run events, I run tournaments. I work at a local golf course in the area, so I have a lot of experience in things like merchandising, teaching people how to play golf, young people, older people. I have a lot of experience in running golf events. I've probably been playing golf myself for 30 years. Played here at Bishop Connolly High School many moons ago. Also played in college at the Division I level. So I'd like to think that I'm somewhat qualified to be a pretty good, solid high school golf coach.
So I was looking at the record, and it kind of reminds me of football a little. You have you're a talented team, but you just don't have the numbers. So what do you want to say to your players in the locker room after a tough meet or after a tough, team that may just bring the spirits of the team down? What do you want to say to them after?
Well, I mean, the game of golf is a difficult game, number one, and it's the type of game that challenges yourself, because even though you're playing against other opponents, still at the end of the day, it's basically you're competing against you in the golf course. So you're going to go out there and face adversity and hit good shots and bad shots, and it's true. We do. Our numbers are not where they need to be. We don't have a number of players. We only have about 6 this year, so it is a rebuilding year. But after a tough meet, the best thing that you can do is try to put it behind you, because if you dwell on all of the bad things or the negative things that you did on the golf course, bad shots or missed putts or something like that, then it's only going to make it worse in the future. So the biggest thing is to stay positive, keep your heads up, and forget about all the if you had a tough day, tomorrow's a new day. So the golf course isn't going anywhere. You still have to play it tomorrow. So the biggest thing is to wipe out any negative things that happened in the past, and work hard, practice on the things that didn't work out for you, and then try to improve upon that.
So, as you said before, it's much more of an individual yet sports team. So what do you want to say to the individuals on the team, as there are only about 6 or 7 of them, correct?
Correct, yeah, there's only about 6 or 7, yeah.
So you want to say to them that it's much more of an individual sport. So as you hone in on each individual player, what do you usually say to them after maybe a tough game for them or a good game for them?
Well, I mean, you get to know each individual player on your team, and you kind of understand their strengths and weaknesses, and things that they might do better on the golf course versus things that they need to work on and improve on. So, and obviously everybody is a different individual, and people handle adversity in different ways. So when you get to know your players, you kind of figure out the right things to say and the wrong things to say, and when the appropriate times are to say certain things, especially when they're out on the golf course. So the biggest thing with that is just trying to get a feel for each individual, figure out what works well for them, positive feedback. Sometimes a kick in the butt is okay too. So, but some players handle it in different ways. So again, golf is an individual sport, and individually, just like all the pro golfers on the PGA Tour, they handle different situations in different ways. So the biggest thing is understanding each of your players, and then trying to come out with the right words to try to pick them up, and that way they can perform at a higher level the next time out.
So what are some attributes on the team. So not a great record, but what are some of the things that you are most happy with on the team? What makes, Connolly not a great record, but just a great team with your players? What makes the team just, in your mind, some great aspects about it, some great attributes?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, with it being a rebuilding year, most of the players were at a beginner skill level. So, we've been at it. We actually just finished our season today. So, literally, it's a short season. So, we go from maybe the third week of August until current. But I think the biggest thing is, again, we started out at such a beginner skill level, and seeing the transformation over the course of the last 6 to 8 weeks, I think has been tremendous. Golf is a type of game that you don't get better overnight, and it certainly takes a lot of practice, like most sports do, but I find it especially so in golf. So I think the biggest thing that I'm taking away from this season, even though it wasn't super successful wins and losses wise, I do see a lot of promise for some of the younger players that came in this year, literally never playing golf before, and now I definitely see a huge improvement in their game. So hopefully a combination of those players working on their games in the off season, and hopefully here tonight we can pick up a couple new ones. I look forward to a successful season next year.
So speaking about the beginner, how much do you value development in your team, and how do you coach development in the team? Because it's not such a talent-wise, it's more of an intangible about how you develop through freshman as just a beginner to an advanced and a veteran senior.
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. So the biggest way that you develop as a golfer is, and again, it's an individual sport. So, but like most sports, the way you're going to develop is the amount of time and effort and blood and sweat that you put into to each individual sport, but especially so in golf. So, a big thing with the development with the players, especially starting as a freshman and moving through seniors year, is again, golf is the type of sport which demands repetitious activity, just like it does throwing a football or kicking a soccer ball, but more so in golf. And there are different aspects of golf that you have to try to improve upon, whether it's trying to drive the golf ball 250 yards off the tee, or hit a crisp iron shot to the green, or make a 20-foot putt. So there are so many various aspects of the game of golf, but how you develop really properly is by putting in the amount of time. So obviously our season is short, but I certainly encourage the players that once we conclude here and going into next year, that they put in a fair amount of work on their own. Away from the team. Like I said, it's an individual sport, so that we certainly don't need to be, together as a team for them to develop. So the biggest thing, to answer your question in developing, is it all goes back to the amount of work that each and every student wants to put in, and that's how they're really going to progress and develop starting freshman year and progressing all through the senior year.
So one last final question for you. To all the incoming freshmen and transfer students, what do you want to say to them about golf that makes it just a great sport to join for Connolly?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing about golf, and having been around it basically my entire life, the biggest thing, number one, that you can take away with golf that you can't with 95% of the other sports here at school is it's a game that you're going to play the rest of your life. So, if you play football here at Conley, and nothing to take away from the football program or players, but once they leave here, the chances of you playing at the next level or ever playing football again is slim to none. But golf, you're just beginning, okay? So when you leave Bishop Conley, 17, 18 years old, you have your whole life ahead of you. So the biggest thing that I can say from being around the game basically my entire life is what the game can give you is I promise you, it'll take you to places that you otherwise would never go. And it also will introduce you to people, and you'll be able to rub elbows with people from all walks of life that you otherwise would never meet. And so it's a tool that you really can use. And if you start here at Bishop Conley High School, it's a tool that you can use not only at the collegiate level, but once you graduate in whatever profession you choose. I promise you, if you can play golf, and especially play it well, then it can be a huge benefit to you in life. So the biggest thing I can tell incoming freshmen is I plan on being here a long time. I'm an alum of the school. Again, I do it for a profession. So but again, it's the type of sport that you'll play the rest of your life, and certainly will benefit you in many ways. So I certainly encourage everyone to come out and play golf next year. So thank you.
Well, I really hope all the best for the golf team next season and in the future, and thank you so much for your questions.
Thank you, Liam. Take care.
Have a good day. That was the golf coach here at Bishop Connolly. I have Mr. Feeney jumping in now.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for tuning in. Liam did a great job interviewing our coaches. Hopefully, you got a perspective not only on Bishop Connolly athletics, but the larger context of what Bishop Connolly athletics fits into, the culture here, the atmosphere, and whatnot. So for Liam Mahoney, I am Mr. Feeney, the athletic director, and for all of our coaches, thanks for watching. Good night. And God bless.